Making his own granddaughter pregnant 3 times and giving those unborn babies to an evil sea goddess just for money, power, and high position. A bad grandfather burned his whole family in hell. And on that scary night, when an evil sea goddess came out from the deep ocean, all family limits were broken. Today, I'm going to explain one of the most terrifying Malaysian horror movies, Marlam Tarlang, or The Forbidden Night. After watching this movie, you may not have the courage to sleep alone at night. At the very beginning of the movie, we see a young girl walking barefoot towards a scary swamp near the sea. An old woman was standing there, saying that the girl's body was now in her control. The girl is laid down on an old sacrifice altar. Right then, a terrifying demonic spirit enters the girl's body. The dark spirit had pitch black hands. It cuts the girl's stomach, takes out a bloody fetus, and screams, the first one, meaning the first sacrifice. Right after this, the scene changes, and we met Omar, a young politician. He is a local youth leader and trusted man of Chief Minister Wahid. Next, we see Omar's family, his wife Sarima and two daughters, Safar and Mayor. Sarima cannot walk, she is in a wheelchair. A few months ago, a mysterious accident made her legs useless forever. Outside the house, we see Omar's father, Mukhtar. He was once a very powerful village leader. A man from Wahid's parties gives Mukhtar a pure gold lighter to show respect, which proves how much powerful Mukhtar had. Inside, Omar looks worried. The younger daughter, Mayor, calls everyone for a family photo. The elder daughter, Safar, comes out wearing her mother Sarima's old dance dress. Seeing Safar in that dress, Sarima remembers her past, because she was a famous dancer before her accident. But after becoming disabled, the love between Omar and Sarima died. While taking the photo, Omar hesitated to hold Sarima's hand. After the photo, Omar gives a big speech in front of a huge crowd. He publicly announced that he is leaving Chief Minister's Wahid party to fight the upcoming election independently. Hearing this bold announcement, Wahid gets very angry because Omar was very popular among young people. After the event, Omar meets Wahid politely, but Wahid was extremely angry. Meanwhile, Mayor noticed that her sister Safar is bleeding heavily. She tells Safar to go to the washroom. In the washroom, Safar sees a strange piece of bloody meat and screams in fear. But when she rubs her eyes, there is nothing. Mayor says Safar bleeds like this often and is mentally broken. In the next scene, Mayor goes to her friend China's studio. On the radio, they talk about a very old civilization that lived near the sea in Sumatra, Malaysia and Thailand. They built wooden platform near the ocean to make sacrifice to evil spirits. But today that civilization is completely gone. We get to know Mio wants to be a professional photographer and gets a job at a big news agency. But seeing her disabled mother, she cannot leave home. Meanwhile, Umar goes to submit his election candidate form. While brings some fruits for him. But Umar's friend Kas tells him not to eat them, because in politics, enemies can easily add poison. When night falls, we see Safar at the house of Noni, an old village healer. Safar was deeply troubled. A bit later, Safar returns home wearing a protective bracelet given by Nani. She gets angry and shouts at her younger sister Mio, though she feels bad for it later. At night, while Safar is sleeping, water starts dripping from the ceiling onto her bed. An invisible evil force attacks Safar's body. Her protective bracelet shakes continuously to stop the evil spirit, but the spirit wins, and Safar walks out of the house in a trance. Hearing noises, Mayor wakes up to look for Safar. Safar was not in the house. Suddenly, Mayor sees a dark shadow like scary woman behind her. But when she turns on the light, it disappears. Since Safar often walks outside at night, Mayor goes back to sleep. Actually, this evil spirit is Temakbul, a demon sea goddess from Malaysia folklore. She fulfills people's biggest desires, but takes their souls in returns. To seal the deal, she makes people swallow black vomit from her mouth. The next morning, Umar runs to Mayor's room asking for Safar. Hearing that Safar did not return, Umar drives away quickly. Mayor follows her father on her bicycle to the beach. What they see there shocks them. Safar's dead body was lying in the swamp. A sharp broken tree branch had pierced straight through her neck. Safar was dead. This horrible death breaks the family. After the autopsy, Safar is buried. At the funeral, Wahid tells Omar, "You can still leave the election." While saying this, Wahid looks at Safar's autopsy report in Omar's hand. Back home, Mukhtar tells Omar, "Control your emotions. You have to win the election first." But Mayor feels that Safar's death was not a simple accident. It was a planned murder. Mayor goes back to the swamp where Safar's body was found. There she hears a strange sound, like someone hitting a wooden platform with an axe. Following the sound, Mayor goes deeper into the swamp. Right behind her stands the scary Pimakbul. But before Mayor turns around, the spirit vanishes. Following the sound, Mayor crosses the swamp and reaches the other side of the ocean. There she sees a large wooden platform. It is the same platform connected to the ancient civilization shown in the first scene. While climbing the platform, a sharp object pricks Mayor's foot. It was Safar's earring. Mayor understands that Safar was killed on this platform, but her body was thrown into the swamp. Mayor runs home and tells Umar everything, but Umar asks her to stay quiet to avoid police trouble. Mayor notices Umar locking Safar's autopsy report inside his drawer. Umar was definitely hiding something. Angry Mayor goes to Safar's room and plays her old audio tapes. Suddenly, the tape voice gets distorted. Safar's voice starts ambushing Mayor, and right then Safar's spirit whispers near Mayor's ear and vanishes. Scared, Mayor runs downstairs and sees her mother Sarima shaking wildly on the floor. A doctor comes and gives Sarima an injection to sleep. Old Noni also arrives. Looking at Sarima's fate, Noni goes to the bathroom to pray. Mayor grabs Noni. Why is Safar's soul not at peace? What is happening to our family? Noni only says, "Pray to God and keep your mother safe." Finding no other way, Mayor starts investigating herself. Under Safar's mattress, she finds a secret box. Opening it with a pocket knife, she finds some photo negative and a love letter from a boy. Mayor goes to Giant's studio to develop the photos. As she leaves her room, all the lights in the hallway go out. At the end of the dark hallway, two glowing red eyes appear. Every time Muir turns on the light, the spirit disappears. Whenever the light goes off, the spirit jumps closer. It was Safar's body spirit. At the last second, Umar arrives and saves Muir. The next morning, Jan develops the photo. The picture shows Safar with Gus, Umar's close assistant. Muir runs home, finds the drawer key and opens it. Inside, she finds a gun, a picture of Umar's first wife and Safar's autopsy report. Reading the report, Muir gets a huge shock. Safar was pregnant. Just then, Umar and Gus enter the room. Muir shows the photo and report to Gus and shouts, Gus made Safar pregnant and killed her to hide the truth. Umar gets extremely angry and beats Gus brutally. He fires a gun right next to Gus' ear. Gus begs for his life. At that moment, the police arrive and arrest Gus. That night, while Muir is sleeping beside her mother, the bed starts shaking and water drips from the ceiling. Safar's bloody spirit hangs from the ceiling. Muir falls off the bed in fear. The next morning, Muir goes to the kitchen and sees her mother, who was disabled for years, walking around normally and singing happily. But Umar was crying. He blamed himself for Safar's death. When Muir asks about the picture of Umar's first wife, Umar reveals, before marrying your mother, I had a first wife, but she died of a mysterious illness a few months after marriage. Then my father married me to Sarima. Just then, Mukhtar arrives. He warns Umar why he is using dark magic to win. Do not take any food or gifts from him. Meanwhile, Gus gets out on a bail and goes to Jan's shop. Muir arrives there too. Gus cries and holds Muir's hands. Muir, believe me, I never touched Safar. I loved her and wanted to marry her. On the night she died, Safar went to old Noni's house. Noni knows everything. Gus reveals a shocking truth. Safar was addicted to drugs. When Mother Sarima scolded her, Safar got angry and pushed Sarima off the roof. That push made Sarima disabled forever. At home, Omar was searching the house for any dark magic charms. Under the doormat, he finds a scary black magic charm. Angry Omar goes directly to Wahid's house. But Wahid blackmails him using Safar's autopsy report. If you do not leave the election, I will leak this report to the media and ruin your family. Wahid's men beat Omar badly and throw him out. At home, Sarima was dancing strangely in her room. Forgetting her disability, she showed no sadness for Safar's death. Muir, holding a knife, goes to Noni's house to know the truth. Holding a knife to Noni's neck, she asks, why did Safar come to you that night? At the same time, Umar takes a gun and goes to kill Wahid. But when he arrives, he finds Wahid already dead. Beside his body was Mukhtar's gold lighter. Mukhtar had killed Wahid. Noni cries and tells Muir the truth. Safar came to me that night because her body was changing horribly. I checked her and found someone put extreme dark magic on her, making her pregnant again and again. Noni gives Muir a protective bracelet like Safar and tells her to pray before sleeping. Suddenly, the Pimbakul spirit begins to control Muir's mind. Muir sees a strange vision. She sees herself in Safar's place on the wooden sea platform under Pimbakul's control, and a dark male shadow was abusing her violently to make her pregnant. When the vision becomes clear, Muir screams in terror. That evil man was none other than her own grandfather, Mukhtar. Mukhtar was doing this terrible act to his own granddaughter, Safar. As the vision ends, Muir sees real Mukhtar pulling her close. Muir pushes Mukhtar away and runs home. At home, Muir tells Umar the truth. Grandfather made Safar pregnant and today he tried to do the same to me. Umar is completely shocked and speechless. Right then, Mother Sarima gets possessed by the evil spirit. Her voice turns scary. Pimbakul turns off all the house lights. Possessed Sarima attacks Umar and Muir. Noni arrives just in time, chants prayers and ties Sarima to the bed. Now the darkest truth comes out from Sarima's mouth. Sarima cries and says, I love Umar deeply. But Umar married another man. So Mukhtar and I went to the sea and awakened the evil goddess Pimbakul. In exchange for our deal, Pimbakul killed Umar's first wife with a poison disease and made Mukhtar the village leader. We could never teach God's good words to anyone. But the day Safar was taking drugs, I got angry and gave her good advice. As a punishment for talking about God, Pimbakul took away my legs and removed Mukhtar from his leader position. To fix our mistake, we called Pimbakul again. But this time Pimbakul demanded 3 unborn fetus as sacrifice. And the condition was all 3 fetus must be from Mukhtar's own blood. So we chose helpless Safar. The first fetus sacrifice was the scene at the start of the movie. The second fetus sacrifice was the bloody meat in the toilet bowl. But during the third pregnancy, because of Noni's bracelet, Safar broke free from Pimbakul's control and while running away, she died when a sharp branch cut her neck. So for the third sacrifice, Mukhtar chose his younger granddaughter Muir. As Sarima finishes speaking, Mukhtar enters the room and kills old Noni with an axe. Sarima gets possessed again. She vomits black liquid and gives it Mukhtar to drink. Drinking it, Mukhtar shouts, now all the power of the world will be mine. They grab Muir and take her to sea platform. Umar follows them. Umar pulls out his gun and shoots his father Mukhtar, but dark magic protects Mukhtar. Mukhtar grabs Umar's neck to kill him. With his last strength, Umar pushes Mukhtar onto a sharp broken tree branch. The branch pierces through Mukhtar's chest. Coughing blood, evil Mukhtar dies there. Right then, Pimbakul rises from the dark sea. She tells Sarima, I will return your beauty and Umar's love if you sacrifice your daughter Muir with your own hands. Sarima shallows Pimbakul's black vomit, turns evil and attacks Muir with a knife. It is revealed that Sarima was the one who killed Umar's first wife with dark magic. Umar steps in front of Sarima to protect Muir. Pimbakul lifts Muir into the air and tries to brainwash her. I will give you whatever you want. I will bring you back your happy family. But Muir shouts back, you destroyed my family. Your promises are lies. Muir strongly rejects Pimbakul's offer. Because of Muir's strong mind, Pimbakul becomes weak. Seeing this chance, Umar stabs Sarima in the stomach with a knife. Dying, Sarima says, I am still Pimbakul's servant. Pimbakul pulls Sarima's body and the wooden platform deep into the ocean forever. A few months later, Muir achieves her dream and becomes a successful photojournalist. She goes to prison to visit her father. Umar is in custody for the deaths of Wahid and Mukhtar. Sarima's body was never found, just like the ancient civilization. Muir shows Umar her first published news article about the ancient evil sea civilization and its sacrifices. From behind bars, Umar holds Mior's hand and cries, "I am paying for not taking proper care of you and your mother. I love you very much, my child." Mior gives Umar the old family photo taken at the beginning of the movie and walks out of the prison with tears in her eyes. Mior thinks to herself, "I may never forget the terrible night that burned my life to ashes, but life must go on." And this is how the scary and cursed movie Marlam Tarlang or The Forbidden Night ends here. So friends, this was the spine-chilling story of Marlam Tarlang. Have you ever seen such a terrifying story where a grandfather destroyed his own family for power and lust? Let us know in the comments. If you liked today's video, please hit the like button, share it with your friends and subscribe to Spooky Brain for more scary stories. See you soon in the next video. Until then, stay safe and take care. Goodbye.